Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. Today we're going to talk about my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 18. I know that Game Week 17 has just finished, but the deadline is just around the corner on the 26th of December, which is basically 2 days ahead of us. So there isn't a lot of time to prepare for different stuff, and we have to be quick and we have to react quick. Today we're going to present my Game Week 17 review of my team. Then we're going to talk about the Saka injury, as you can see on the thumbnail and most probably seen during the weekend, that Saka got an injury and in my opinion will be missing at least 2 to 4 weeks, and that can be a lot of time around Christmas. So I would be looking for replacements and different strategies. Then we're going to see my Game Week 18 team, how it's going to look, and at the end I'm going to present to you my transfer plans and what I am going to do with my team. I hope you like it. If you do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As you can see, I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers. I was with a different goal, but I decided to aim high because that's my motto: aim as high as possible, but be reasonable with it. Now, let's go and see how I did in Game Week 17. My Game Week 17 team did pretty alright. 69k before the start of the week, 42k after it, 93 points. I was barely a little bit away from that 100 mark that I am unable to break so far, but a healthy green arrow and a great performance for my team. Overall, we're going to go through all of the players. We're going to start with the player that I've just transferred in, and that is Gvardiol. I sold Kunate and brought Gvardiol. He got 0 points. I brought the Man City defender for the next 5 fixtures, basically from Game Week 18 onwards. But I was expecting at least a little bonus from the Aston Villa game. He could have scored. He should have scored. He was in a great position, and that would have been amazing for my rank and for everything. But at the end of the day, he delivered exactly 0 points, which is a little bit disappointing. But at the end of the day, it was him or Darragh O'Shea. Both delivered 0. So yeah. 8 Nuri, if he played and if he wasn't suspended, he would have kept a clean sheet, probably would have been involved in one of the goals because the left back scored. Yeah, you're going to say that if he was there, maybe the score would have been different, and you'll be completely right, but one can dream. Another disappointment in my team was Timber, but not because that he didn't keep a clean sheet, but because he wasn't involved in the attacking threat at all. 5 goals and he wasn't present in any of them. He should be more involved, in my opinion, compared to Ben White. I don't think that he's living up to the standard, but cheap as it gets for a nailed Arsenal defender, I'm racking those clean sheets when they get it, so I cannot be sad about it. Lewis Hall with a 7-pointer, he got a late bonus point, basically after all the games have been played and recalculated the bonus points. Shar lost it, but yeah, Hall with a 7-pointer. Last week it was a 15-pointer, now 7 points. I think that he is bringing the points that we deserved and that we kept him for. And in goal, it was Rob Sanchez, 9-pointer. Everton were dangerous, especially in the second half, mostly in the second half, because in the first they left their half after the 30th minute or something like that. But yeah, Rob Sanchez with some crucial saves. There was a block by Tosin on the goal line. The clean sheet wasn't sure for Chelsea, but Sanchez managed to keep it. In midfield, the big disappointment is that Saka is now injured. In my eyes, he is going to be out for at least a month, and we will need to find a replacement. I'm going to go in a second through all the scenarios that I think are possible for you to consider and give you some fruit to think about. But yeah, Saka 1-pointer, wasn't involved in the goals basically at all. And Mbumo should have had an assist, but what an amazing save by Sales at the 90th minute. That would have been 3 more points for Mbumo, maybe a bonus point, as the defensive bonus points for Forest would have disappeared, and Mbumo would have been highly considered, as he is always there on the bonus when he does an attacking return. But yeah, 2 points next week against Brighton. You'll see if I'm going to keep it. Mohamed Salah, everything I say about him is not going to be enough. 2 goals, 2 assists, 3 bonus, and 21 points. He was my captain, obviously. I don't think that there is any question who should you captain, why you should try a different captain. The answer is you shouldn't, and you can't try a different captain right now. It was boring when last season it was all Haaland. It's now boring that it's all Salah, but this guy 15 goals and 11 assists in 16 games played for Salah. Those are ridiculous numbers. 10 more attacking involvement than the games that he has participated in. those numbers are absurd. I cannot fathom them, but yeah, 42 points, he's basically almost half of my points. But yeah, we move forward with the GOAT Mo Salah. Palmer 3-pointer, the clean sheet point is here. A little bit disappointed with the way that he played against Everton, but Everton was never going to be on a high scoring game in my eyes, especially with the way that they play against Arsenal. I thought that they was going to play in a similar way against Chelsea, and at the end of the day, 3 points is okay. Now, moving into the forward line, Isaac, a hat-trick. On Saturday, it seemed like the best option for a captaincy was going to be Isaac, but at the end of the day, it was Mo Salah as per usual. 17 points from Isaac. I think that all of us owners are going to be happy, and those that are not owners will be looking for a way to bring him in. I don't think that this is reactive. I don't think that this is something that is a knee-jerk pick. He's just in a hot form, playing for a team that is just clicking right now, and he's performing well, and he's on penalties. I don't think that you can add anything bad about him at all. Maybe that he's missing some chances, but at the end of the day, who doesn't? Cunha, 9-pointer. All in all, happy. This guy is a bonus magnet. He's already the second most not transferred. He's the striker with second highest points in the game after Erling Haaland, and he costs 8 million less. Yes, 8 million less. We're expecting a ban. Nothing is yet sure. I may even keep him against Manchester United because they're shambolic. And yeah, Cunha might score some goals there. João Pedro, another disappointing game. I am looking maybe to offload him. But to be fair, some hard games are coming on the horizon for Brighton, and that's where João Pedro is delivering. So I may keep him for another week or two because I don't have anything else to do with the budget, and I have more urgent players to take out, such as Saka and probably Cunha if he's going to be suspended. On the bench, Winks with a 1-pointer, but he couldn't have been in my team in any shape or form, so basically the bench was non-existent for me, and I'm most probably one of the few guys that doesn't have points on the bench. That's my strategy with the 11 players, and that's why I am not hurt every week with the players on the bench, because they don't score points. I'm playing with the starting 11 only. Maybe that's not the right strategy, but for now it seems to work. As you can see, 42k. I think it's a pretty good rank. Now let's go and see what replacements we can consider for Saka and what strategies are there for it and how to improve our ranks even more. Here is the first strategy that I'm going to consider about Saka. He's 10.6 at the moment, and most probably he's going to drop in price. But if you have brought him for a price that is around that 10.6, and even if you haven't, I don't think that's a big miss, because at the end of the day he's going to drop in price even more because he's going to get sold a lot. And I think that taking a price drop, unless you're going for Palmer or Salah, it's not the end of the world. Now this is the premium budget option, and that's just to pivot to another player, not to consider any other position. Yes, you're going to free up if you go down to Bruno around 2 million of your funds, which is quite a lot, and you can reach players from Cunha to Isaac directly. But if you're willing to sell João Pedro, that's not enough for Isaac, and or probably not enough for Jackson, I would say, if you don't have any other money in the bank. Now, why would I consider those three players that are on the screen? First of all, Bruno Fernandes, penalty taker for Manchester United. Against Bournemouth, I know they lost, but he had some amazing chances. And on the horizon, there are Wolves, Newcastle and Liverpool. Not the easiest of fixtures, especially with the form that Newcastle are in, especially with how well Liverpool are playing, and especially with the new manager bounce for Wolves. I think that Bruno, it's a little bit of a knee-jerk pick, and if he wasn't playing for Manchester United or for a team with a smaller fan base, he wouldn't have been considered, at least in my opinion. Next up, it's Phil Foden, 9.1. That will free up around 1.3 to 1.5 million in the bank for you, and he has Everton, Leicester and West Ham. Everton, I have to admit, they're a good team defensively, so might not be considered an easy fixture, but Leicester and West Ham, oh my god, those teams are conceding goals for fun, especially Leicester, and Foden can thrive in those fixtures. All in all, I wouldn't go there as of yet, because yes, he has just scored, and yes, he's the wonder boy from Man City, but they're just not clicking yet. I don't know what's happening. They have a lot of attacking players currently that are in. Doku, Savinho, and KDB didn't start the game at all. There is Gundogan. I don't think that Kovacic is leaving the side anytime soon, and I think Bernardo Silva and Kovacic are all there. Haaland is there, so that is left with one midfielder. That is central midfielder, probably one attacking midfielder and one winger to finish up the 6 players that play there. KDB is going to return pretty soon. Jack Grealish didn't play bad against Villa. Doku is there, Savinho is there, and Foden is there. Mateus Nunes, if he returns from that slight injury, is going to be there as well. Yes, Foden most probably is not going to be rotated that much, but he's still a risk that I'm right now not willing to take. But if you want a Man City player and you want to bet that their form is going to turn, Foden is the player from their midfield that you should target. Bernardo Silva is another player, but he's in a different bracket. I'm going to discuss it when we reach it. And Heung-min Son facing Forest, Wolves and Newcastle. The fixture run is not there, but those teams, how to say it, are good, especially Forest. Newcastle are gaining form, as already mentioned. Wolves is regaining strength, but I think Spurs will need to get some points because they're in a pretty bad position currently. They have not won a lot of the games. They just lost 6-3 to Liverpool, and I think that they will want to fight back. You can go for players like Solanke up front, Johnson, Maddison, Kulusevski that we're going to discuss in a second. But I think penalty taker and their left winger Son is a very, very solid option. And that way, if Saka returns soon, you can pivot easily back, because if you spread the funds elsewhere, Saka becomes unreachable, and that might become an issue in the future. So if you are on that strategy, I would say that the only thing is good when happy with your structure and you're only fixing the Saka injury issue. So you have a Saka injury issue, you fix it, happy days, everyone is okay. You are not wasting money elsewhere, you are not pivoting and not pivoting, you're not restructuring the site, and you're in good position. I think that strategy is nice, and this is my top strategy for my team. It might not be for yours. I'm going to just present 2 other ones, so now let's move to the next one. The next strategy that we're going to discuss is the mid-budget price. That means players that are below basically Bruno Fernandes. You have Bowen, you have Maddison, you have Diogo Jota, you have Gordon, you have Mbumo, you have Eze if he's fit, you have Kulusevski, you have Brennan Johnson, you have, you can say Sancho, you can say Madueke, you can say Neto, all are in that bracket. That bracket for me is the most iffy one, and I'm going to say why, because those players there have fixtures, have form, but are not delivering as expected. For example, Diogo Jota, Leicester, West Ham, Manchester United. That screams Liverpool go galore. Every game screams Liverpool goes galore. You can add Szoboszlai to the mix, you can add McAllister to the mix, but they're not as consistent as the guys that are above and that are below, in my opinion. But yeah, with this strategy, if you sell Saka, you free up around 2.5 to 3 million minimum funds, which is directly João Pedro to Isaac if you don't have Isaac. Even if you sell Saka to Maddison, you will most probably be able to afford João Pedro to Isaac. But most players are willing to say sell even cheaper. Mbumo is an option. Mbumo is always an option. Like, this guy is amazing, and this guy is on pens, and this guy plays in a team that in the next 5 fixtures 3 times is going to play as a striker out of position, so I think he might deliver points. Diogo Jota is a very, very big miss or a hit, because minutes have not been there yet for him, but he just got rested a little bit against Spurs. That doesn't mean that he's starting against Leicester, but for sure increases his chances. I would be not tempted to go for an attacker from Liverpool currently, apart from Salah, because they're all rotated. If you're willing to sacrifice some points for a big haul in the future that may or may not come, that's the way, but for now I don't think that this is the right approach to do it. Gordon is a nice way to the Newcastle attack, because Newcastle attack are clicking at the moment. The issue is that they face some difficult teams on theory, but only on theory. Aston Villa at home. Apart from City game, Aston Villa have been leaking goals. Manchester United away. Manchester United have been bad. And when I mean bad, I mean bad. And they can attack on the counter like hell. Gordon, Murphy, Isaac are going to cause United a lot of damage, and the same can be said about Spurs. So Gordon is one of the top 3 options in my opinion. I have not included other Spurs midfielders such as Kulusevski or Johnson, because Kulusevski is always there, but he is basically avoiding bonus every time, and I don't think that this is a good strategy. To go for Kulu, Johnson is a rotation risk. Maddison is a rotation risk because when the things are not going their way, he's taken out. But still, he scored a goal against Liverpool and he got his 6-pointer, which could have been way more or way less. But yeah, Jota risky and Bumo okay pick. Bernardo Silva is another option that I didn't mention here because he's always there for the Man City lineup. But I don't think that he's that exciting going forward. Madueke, not that exciting. Neto, not that exciting. And yeah, that covers it. You can as well pivot from a cheap defender to Trent, because you can, let's say, pick Gordon and pick Trent, because freeing up those 3 million is directly a transfer from whichever defender to Trent. You have a defender that's not playing or not performing, you want to restructure, you want Trent against Leicester, West Ham and Manchester United, boom, you have Trent. So that's the way to do it. So I would recommend this strategy if you need funds to replace probably Joao Pedro or Cunha with Isaac or Jackson, or go for a defender on the ranks of Trent or someone else. But yeah, mid-price, I like it if you want to restructure a little bit, but have in mind that then in order to bring in back Saka, this will cost you at least 2 transfers, because the money will be spread between 2 players. The final strategy that I'm considering is going cheap. And by meaning cheap, I mean players under 6 million. The strategy of this movement is to restructure completely your side, because with basically freeing up around 5 million, you can improve in at least 2 positions around, or you can do something of a completely restructure. You can as well keep the funds in the bank, but having a starting player around 5.3 and then having 5 millions in the bank, for me, is just not a good strategy. I think it's bad. I think that you should always use as much funds as possible. Yeah, you can have some money for bad days, but that is too much money. Going cheap is a good option. Players like Rodgers, he was one of the most popular players this week because he scored a massive score against City, but he's not playing City every week. Now he faces Newcastle, Brighton and Leicester, and to be fair, that screams goals as well, especially that Brighton and Leicester fixtures, but there is plenty of time around that. But if you're willing to invest in someone from Aston Villa, I think Rodgers is your guy. Ahmad, Wolves, Newcastle, Liverpool, same as Bruno, but Ahmad has been amazing. This is the first game against Bournemouth where he played 90 minutes and he didn't get a return, and he's their best player after Amorim was appointed. So I would heavily consider Ahmad. And Sarr is the final guy that I want to mention here. Bournemouth, Southampton and Chelsea. Both teams, the 3 teams, especially Southampton, does not look great in defense. Chelsea have been leaky. Bournemouth have a hit and miss. For example, today against United, they were amazing, but sometimes they're not that amazing of a side. You can go for players like Semenyo, who is still one of the top options to go for. You can go for players like Enzo, top option to go for. Iwobi, not a bad option, but I think those 3 are the most exciting guys to consider if you're willing to go cheap. And basically the core of this strategy is you want to get a lot of funds to restructure the team around, bring an expensive defender, bring another striker, maybe improve another midfielder, or even if you want to afford Haaland, this is the way to go, but that will cost you at least 3 or 4 transfers. If you have them stored, you might consider it. I would personally not go there. But yeah, those are the 3 strategies. My favorite is to just pivot and save the money for Saka, because when Saka returns, I will for sure want him back, because he's the best player from Arsenal, and if he's fit, I would like him in. And Son is going to be a quick replacement that is just going to be there and is going to deliver me hopefully some points. So let's go and see how my team is looking for now for Game Week 18. Going into Game Week 18, I'm with 0.5 million in the bank and with 2 transfers. Starting in goal, I will be going for Rob Sanchez against Fulham. I think that he's having another high chance of at least making saves. I'm not banking a clean sheet or something like that there. You can never bank a clean sheet with Chelsea, but going for a Fulham at home, I think that after they lost points against Everton, they will want to fight back. Fulham is not an easy team to target and not an easy team to aim to beat, but at the end of the day I think that Chelsea are going to prevail into that game, and if they prevail I prefer it to be with a clean sheet. 4.8, I can go to another keeper with the money that I have in the bank. I can do something with my bench, but honestly keepers never tend to give me points, and when I receive them I'm happy with the keeper, and I think Sanchez is just going to keep his place. Maybe that's a bold statement to make, but at the end of the day you never know with that Maresca rotation. Moving swiftly into defense, I'm starting with Timber against Ipswich, 5.7 million. I think Arsenal are bound a clean sheet there. Hopefully Timber plays, as he has been part of a lot of games so far this season, but at the end of the day I think that they don't have a proper right back. Maybe Partey can be utilized there, but I think Timber starts. Guardiola against Everton, that's when I want him to start getting some points, clean sheet points, maybe an attacking return, but let's start with the clean sheet points and I'll be a happy boy there. Moving then to Lewis Hall against Aston Villa, I have a dilemma here. I'm deliberating between starting Hall against Villa or 8 Nuri against Manchester United. You're going to probably call me crazy for considering going for 8 Nuri over Hall, but if he's really used as a left winger, I think that this can be some serious upside against Manchester United at home. I think that this can bring me points, but the safe option, of course, is to go with Hall. Next up in midfield, I'm starting with Salah against Leicester, 13.4, nothing to consider there. Palmer against Fulham, Mbeumo against Brighton. So far, the first away fixture in my team is Mbeumo, but against Brighton, you can count him to score points. And Saka is the guy that I will be looking to sell because at the end of the day, he is injured. 10.6 for now, he is going to be the guy that I will be looking to replace. On the bench, Harry Winks, nothing to mention there, 4.5, at least now he's fit and at least now he's going to be fighting for the starting spot. Up front, I'm going with Isaac, Cunha and Pedro. Cunha is another guy that might be out of contention because he is going to get suspension sooner rather than later, but if he doesn't get it against United, I may keep him because United have been shambolic and Cunha can deliver against them. Pedro for now survives another week because I just don't have the capacity to take him out, and Isaac is going to remain there. The final thing that we're going to discuss is going to be the captaincy. Salah takes the armband, no question about it. I don't even want to spend more time there. So yeah, that's the team for now. Let's go and see what my transfers are looking like and what my plans for the future are going to be. Loading my team in FPL Team. As you can see, Saka is already flagged and we have to find a solution. As already mentioned several times during the video, for me the best strategy is just to pivot Saka to another expensive midfielder, and the guy that I will be targeting for now is going to be Heung-min Son. Adding Son into the team makes me with 1.1 million in the bank, and that can afford me several players up front and several players elsewhere around the field, but honestly I might just keep it for now. I don't know Cunha when he's going to get banned. If he's fit against United and then against Spurs, I might keep him for both games. I'm always a fan of Chris Wood, and Chris Wood is facing Spurs as well, a bad team to attack, and then he's facing Everton, but facing Everton I don't think is that of an easy fixture anymore. On the other side, there is a guy called Mateta who is having my attention for sure because he faces Southampton, Leicester, West Ham and Brentford. And if I'm keeping Cunha for this week, I'll be going into next week with one more transfer, and let's say that he's suspended now. I get Mateta against Southampton, which is basically amazing. I keep Isaac against United, Villa for Joao Pedro, Wolves, Arsenal, West Ham, Ipswich, Brentford, Leicester, United and Ipswich once again. I can go for 8 Nuri, but I think here they're going to concede goals. I can go for a double up for Crystal Palace, but I think for now this is going to be the plan. Take out Son, take out Saka for Son, and probably bring in Mateta, as I think the fixture run is the best going forward for Crystal Palace, and you can gain some prices there. Of course, I cannot afford Erling Haaland in any shape or form, so he's out of the question. I'm not moving to a mid-priced or a low price in any other shape or form. Foden is a guy that I would consider having probably the best run of fixtures as well, and you can go for Foden and then for Mateta and just target those fixtures, but that's just a transfer bound to be taken out as soon as possible, which I'm not a fan of. Maybe around then Saka is going to get back fit, but you never know. And if he's fit around game week 21, I'm bringing Saka as soon as possible back into contention. To be fair, I can keep up until 23. Yeah, it's a big what the hell. Maybe Foden at the end of the day is going to be the best option, but I'm willing to take a risk and just pick Heung-min Son because Son is amazing, and I know that he didn't deliver this week, but against Liverpool you cannot expect honestly a lot of players to deliver. So yeah, that's the team for the upcoming week. Probably Son gets in next week. For me, Cunha, have to monitor if he's going to be suspended or not. He plays... Are there dates here? Sadly no, but most probably he won't play on the first day, so he can get banned on the second. It is what it is. You cannot control the bans there, but to be safe, I might just go pick Mateta or just play 4-4-2 and then pick Mateta. We'll see, have a lot of time. We will discuss it in future videos and in future discussions. So yeah, let's wrap up the video and conclude the session. Wrapping up the video, I want to give a special thanks to the members of the channel. I'm going to give it those thanks every time when I conclude the video because those guys are legends and they completely deserve it. Poker Shitsa said foreign, not only he became a member, but he gave 15 other members memberships, so he's simply amazing. Zach, the 4 of you guys, very much thank you. You can see the plans around on the side. If you want to support me in any shape or form, this is one of the way. If not, just smash the like button, write down a comment, put down what is your best Saka strategy and what do you think about the things that I said. How is your season going? How is your week going? Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. But for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.